Welcome in, everybody. It's me, Ian Fritts. We have the quarterfinals of the college football playoff coming up in a couple of days. One game New Year's Eve, 3 games New Year's Day. I can't think of a better way to start 2025 than three, maybe only two really, really good college football playoff games. And I'm talking, ladies and gentlemen, for those college football playoff haters out there, the 12-team playoff haters, lunatics, I call them. Simple-minded people, I call them. We wouldn't have these games. We wouldn't have two of these 4 games, all 4 of these games, 2 that are going to be bonus really good college football games, 2 that could be bonus really good college football games in a college football playoff setting if it weren't for the 12-team playoff era. I'm ecstatic. I think it's going to be awesome. You know what? I don't think it's going to be awesome. I know it's going to be awesome because that's what the gut is telling me. And we're starting with one right behind me. This is the New Year's Eve game. Tuesday night. I was about to say Friday night. It's a Tuesday. We're getting Tuesday college football, ladies and gentlemen. Whoa, I cannot wait. Okay, we've got Boise State, Penn State in the Fiesta Bowl. This is played out there in Arizona. Now, I don't know if any of you guys are geography nerds. You don't even need to be a nerd to know about this. The Fiesta Bowl is played in Arizona. Arizona is closer to Boise, Idaho than it is Happy Valley, Pennsylvania, okay? College town, college, whatever Penn State is right now. It's escaping me. Wherever Penn State is, it's closer to Boise State than it is Penn State. That's the main point of what I was saying. Now, does that matter? Absolutely not. You know why? Because Penn State's favored by 11.5, folks. They're going to Arizona. Last time they had to travel across the country, however, folks, was to USC. Now, do we remember what happened in that college football game? Ding, ding, ding. I do. Ian does. They went to overtime against USC, and they won. They won. Penn State won. However, is USC comparable to Boise State? Are we saying those can be compared? If they can be, then we might have a game on our hands here, ladies and gentlemen. We might have a game on our hands. If the games can be comparable, folks, if they can be compared, okay? Now, that's the question. Can we compare Boise State and USC? The answer, I think, is absolutely not. These are 2 teams that play a completely different style of football. Also, the USC game was played on USC's campus as a Coliseum. Now, some may say that's not much of an advantage for a specific college football team. I would agree with him. I don't think the Coliseum's a daunting place to go play. But Penn State went in there, overtime, got it done. Now they go into Arizona, Fiesta Bowl, dome environment. Nobody wants this. Get it out of college football. Play these games on campus, folks. Play them on campus. All of them. All of them. I'm getting on my soapbox a little. Boise State, they have to hold on to the football. If Boise State can play keep away, they might have a chance in this one. Penn State, look, everybody's picking Penn State. Penn State's going to roll in there. They're playing a G5 team, Boise State. They're playing Boise State. That all they's got is Ashton Jeanty. All they got. A lot of people are Nixon, Maddox Madsen, the quarterback for Boise State, saying he's the worst quarterback in the college football playoff. He's number 12. There's 12 teams. He's the worst quarterback that we have. A lot of people were ranking him below Kevin Jennings. We saw what Kevin Jennings did. No fault, Kevin Jennings. You just played this Penn State team. I think Maddox Madsen is a better quarterback than Kevin Jennings. I put out my list on Twitter. You can go find it. You can go find it somewhere. I stood by it. I still stand by it. Maddox Madsen's a dog, ladies and gentlemen. He can get it done. He can sling it around the yard. He knows what he's doing. Now, they are going to have to rely on Ashton Jeanty. Obviously, boom, shocker from Ian. Just nuggets of wisdom I'm throwing at you. Ashton Jeanty's going to have the game of his life, folks. And quite frankly, I think Penn State is going to load the box. They're going to put 25 defenders up there and say, hey, as long as we tackle Ashton Jeanty, he cannot hurt us. There was something funny on one of the Penn State boards this week. He said that, hey, Ashton Jeanty, before contact, he's not even a top 25 rusher in terms of rush yards. All we have to do is not touch him, and then we'll win. Now, obviously a joke because he's been so good that they're going to touch him, but it doesn't matter. He's like a pinball. Boom, boom, boom. Bounces right off of you, and then he goes and scores 25 touchdowns. Okay? They're going to have to wrap up, take him to the ground, do whatever to sit on him a little bit on the ground, make him tired, I'm not saying hurt him, but you rub his dirt. You rub his face in the dirt a little bit at the bottom of that pile. Nobody's going to bat an eye. That happens every single college football game. I'm just saying it how it like it is. Okay? That's what Penn State's got to do to stop the Stash and Ginty guy. Okay? Now, Boise State, I'm not even sure. Look, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not even sure how they win this football game. Look, I'm not saying Penn State's going to win by 55. Okay? But I am taking Penn State to cover the 11 and a half and win this football game. I think it's going to be too much for the Boise State Broncos to overcome. Okay, look, I like them. They're going to have to win the turnover battle by I think 3+ to win this game. They may keep it close, but Penn State wins by more than 11 and a half. Next game up, folks, we have the Peach Bowl. Arizona State Sun Devils versus the Texas Longhorns. Okay, Texas favored by 12 and a half. Let me take a sip here, folks. Patented mug. If you want one of these, let me know. We will get it to you. Our shipping is uncanny. Okay, Arizona State, Texas, 12 and a half. Kenny Dillingham, Steve Sarkisian. One new Big 12 team, one former Big 12 team. Now, this is an SEC team in the Texas Longhorns that, quite frankly, if I was a talking head, I would just say, boom, Texas, SEC, Big 12, no competition whatsoever. Let me get through what I'm about to say, okay? Because you're going to see my pick here in a little bit, and you're thinking, Ian, why did you even tell us all that? Here's why. This game, I think, of all the games in this round of the playoffs, this game could be the most unpredictable. Now, unpredictable in the sense that Texas could win by 75, Texas could lose by 12, Texas could win by 3, Texas could win by 8, Texas could win by 12, Arizona State could win by a last-second field goal, okay? Hail Mary for all I know. It's this. I honestly, what do I think is going to happen? I think, now I go by the gut here at the Ian Fritts Show, but I think Texas is going to win, okay? I think that straight up front, they're going to cover the 12 and a half. Now, there's a part of me inside my gut that's saying, this is unpredictable, folks. This is unpredictable. This 12 and a half, I don't think it makes any sense. I don't think it makes any sense. I think this should be a higher line. I think it should be probably 15, 16, if you ask me. Now, Arizona State, I'm not slighting them at all. However, you stop the run against Arizona State, you win the football game. Texas has been very, very good at stopping the run the entire year. Now, Arizona State, Sam Leavitt, he's a good quarterback. He can throw the ball around, okay? Now, he is not Cade Klubnik, and Arizona State does not have the playmakers on the outside that Clemson did, okay? So I don't think the air attack is going to be as good for Arizona State. In Texas, they stopped the run extremely well all year. However, a couple big runs from Cam Scatterbo, he breaks a couple tackles, this game over. Not game over. This game is just getting started. That's why I think Arizona State, they could win this game by 8. You know, you never know. If Cam Scatterbo breaks a couple tackles, breaks a couple runs, 50-yard runs, easier said than done, I know. But this game could flip on its head, okay, folks? I don't think that's going to happen. The gut's not telling me that's going to happen. But unpredictability at an all-time high in this game, the gut's telling me the Texas Longhorns 12 and a half is the play. Do I want Texas to lose? Yes, I do, as an OU fan. Give me Arizona State. I'll be cheering for Arizona State harder than anybody in the world, probably. Boom. However, the pick is Texas minus 12 and a half. This is the biggest one of them all, folks. Oregon, Ohio State. Minus 2.5 for the Buckeyes. You would think Oregon beat them. How is Ohio State favored? Just spilled some water there. No big deal. That's okay. It happens. Sometimes I forget how to drink. That's okay. Oregon Ducks, Ohio State Buckeyes in the Rose Bowl. Maybe the most storied venue in all of college football. Maybe the most iconic venue in all of college football. It's a 4 o'clock game where I live. 5 o'clock on the East Coast. It's back to 2 o'clock there over there in the Rose Bowl. This is going to be electric. This game will be dark by the end of it. Okay? Get that through your dome there. This game's going to be in the lights by the end of this game, and I think this one's going to come down to the wire. Now, why I said Arizona State, Texas is more unpredictable is because I think there's more outcomes. I think there's 2 possible outcomes in this game. Ohio State wins in a close one. Oregon wins in a close one. Some would say that's not unpredictable. You got 2 chances at it. Pick one, okay? This is not going to be a blowout, folks. And if it is, this statement that I just said never happened. Forget it. If I had one of those Men in Black pins or whatever they say, boom, that's what I would do to your brains right now if it happened. But it won't. There's two outcomes. Oregon wins in a close one. Ohio State wins in a close one. The Buckeyes I favored, I think that is strictly because they have more talent. Their roster is more talented than the Oregon Ducks. However, where my brain goes immediately is the quarterbacks. Okay, you got Dillon Gabriel, year 25 in college football. You got Will Howard, year 20 in college football. Both veterans, both old guys. Who is the better quarterback? Who has been the better quarterback all year? Well, there's only one answer for that. It's Dillon Gabriel. In big games, I mean, their stats may be similar. They may be comparable. However, in big games, Tennessee game aside, Will Howard, that was his best performance of the season against Tennessee. In big games, he hadn't shown up. In big games, Dillon Gabriel, that's all he does is show up in big football games. Even going back to OU, going back to UCF. When it was a big-time football game, Dillon Gabriel was there, and he was putting on a show. The man knows how to win, and he knows how to get it done when it counts. Will Howard, if it gets down to the wire, can he get it done? We've seen Dillon Gabriel do it multiple times. Can Will Howard do it if this game comes down to the wire? He already messed it up once against Oregon this season. He already messed it up once, sliding when the clock says 0. Mental mistakes from Will Howard. You can't be sliding when the game's over, my man. You got to throw that football. Is he going to learn from that, folks? Is he going to learn from his mistakes? I think he is. However, Oregon and Dan Lanning and Dillon Gabriel, can they stay alive? They may be dealt the hardest hand in this entire playoff, playing Ohio State in round two. Okay? I would be livid. But you know what they said? They said it doesn't matter. We win who's in front of us. We beat who is in front of us. We move on. You win your games. You move on. That's the mindset those Oregon Ducks have, and I commend it. That's the mindset every team should have. They shouldn't be, hey, what was me? I'm playing Ohio State in the second round. This system is rigged. No. You can't have that if you're trying to win a national championship, and Oregon doesn't. However, what they do have is an overly aggressive head coach, okay? Dan Lanning, everybody knows it. The guy is like Dan Campbell in the NFL, maybe, but on steroids here in the college level. This man is a psychopath. And I love a good psychopath, okay? But he is psychopathic to a fault, okay? Something in this game against Ohio State, Dan Lanning is going to be overly aggressive, and it is going to cost him. That is why, folks, I'm taking the Ohio State Buckeyes -2.5. I think they cover. I think they win. Now, you're thinking, Ian, didn't you pick Oregon to win the national championship before the season started? I did. I'm not going back on that. But the gut right now is telling me Ohio State -2.5. And I really can't lose because if Oregon wins, hey, my national championship pick is still alive. If Ohio State wins, my pick in this video is right. So it's a win-win for me. I'm just going to enjoy this one on the couch like everybody else. It's going to be awesome. Electric Factory, 4 o'clock Central Time, Rose Bowl, January 1st. Next game up, the last one, Saturday. It's not a Saturday, it's a Wednesday night, folks. Wednesday night, Notre Dame, Fighting Irish versus the Georgia Bulldogs, -1.5 for the Georgia Bulldogs, folks. And this may be shocking to some people. Georgia's favored -1.5. They don't have their starting quarterback. But what they do have is national championship winning head coach Kirby Smart, national championship winning defense in the Georgia Bulldogs, hard-hitting defense of the Georgia Bulldogs. Now, what does Notre Dame have? Well, they got Marcus Freeman, notoriously loses to bad football teams. However, he wins big-time football games. The guy wins against big-time opponents. Look at his track record. I believe he's got 7 top 10 wins, 7 top 15 wins, something like that. Brian Kelly, previous head coach of the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. That dude did nothing against big-time football teams. He may not have lost against bad teams, but he sure as heck didn't win against good teams, okay? And give me a head coach that wins against good football teams, folks. Give me a head coach that wins against good football teams. Now, the Sugar Bowl played over there in New Orleans. Riley Leonard, quarterback for Notre Dame. He grew up 3 hours away from New Orleans. He's getting a lot of tickets for this game. His whole family's going to be at this game. However, you know what that means. Your family's at this football game. You're going to be pressing. You're going to be wanting to perform for your whole fam's there, man. You're thinking, man, I got to show out tonight, okay? Now, does that make Riley Leonard force some mistakes? force some throws that he shouldn't be throwing, okay? And quite frankly, look, Riley Leonard's throwing ability is questionable. It is questionable. He probably shouldn't be throwing a whole lot in this game. If I'm Notre Dame, I am running the ball down Georgia's throat until they are only allowing us to have -2 yards per rush. If we're getting 1 yard per rush, I'm still running it because, quite frankly, Notre Dame will not win this game if they go into this game thinking we're going to throw it all over the yard. That is not Notre Dame's game this year. It's not going to be their game plan against Georgia. They know that. I know that. You know that. I'm just stating it. They are not going to win this football game if they have to throw the ball all over the yard. Now, Georgia, on the other hand, who knows what their game plan is going to be, specifically offensively? I'm not sure. Defensively, it's obviously stop the run, make Riley Leonard throw the ball to beat us. That is going to be the game plan. Offensively for Georgia, who knows? Is it run the ball? They haven't been able to run the ball really all year. Now, is it throw the ball to our playmakers that drop the ball every time they get thrown at? Is that our plan? What's our plan? They've had a month to prepare for this football game. They've had a month with their backup quarterback knowing that Carson Beck was going to be out. What are they going to do, ladies and gentlemen? What are they going to do? This may be the biggest unknown in the entire college football playoff. What is Georgia's offense going to look like? We got a glimpse of it in the second half against Texas, and some people said, whoa, Georgia's offense got better. No, it didn't, ladies and gentlemen. It did not. It gave them a spark for one drive, and after that one drive, nothing happened, okay? Literally nothing happened. Notre Dame's defense, not to be messed with, folks. Not to be messed with. If Carson Beck was playing this football game, I think it's easy. Georgia, -1.5. But since he is not, I don't think the gut is telling me Georgia -1.5. Excuse me, folks. I misspoke. If you watched all my videos this year, you know I have picked one game for Notre Dame correct all year. I've picked one Notre Dame game correct all year. Not good. Not good. The gut was telling me take Notre Dame +1.5, Ian. Take Notre Dame +1.5. And you know what I did? I said, no. I'm not listening to my gut for Notre Dame games anymore this year. I've done it too many times. I've done it too long. I'm not doing it. I'm going against the gut. I'm taking Georgia -1.5. Is it going to bite me? I hope it doesn't. That's the end of the video, folks. Thank you so much for watching. Enjoy the college football playoff games. Happy New Year, ladies and gentlemen. I love you guys. Bye.
Whoa, he has trouble with the snap, and the ball is free. It's picked up by Michigan State's Jalen Watts Jackson, and he scores on the last play of the game.
35, 40, 45, 50, 45. There it goes.